Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today is a huge day, and I am very excited to talk with you guys about Ripple and XRP today because something crazy, huge thing just happened. Before we get into that, though, I am wondering, guys, are you holding XRP and where are you watching from? Put it in the comment section down below. 2 answers, separate ones, so I can filter and check. I'm really wondering how many in percentage of you guys are actually holding this coin that we're talking about all the time on the channel. And also, if you are enjoying the daily crypto news, please support the channel by pressing the like button and subscribing. I am talking about XRP is not a security. XRP isn't a security, declares former CFTC chairman. When Chris Giancarlo was the chairman of the CFTC, he became a rock star of sorts in certain corners of the crypto community, helping establish criteria that eventually led to Bitcoin and Ethereum being declared commodities, more like coffee or sugar than stock in a company. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission largely followed suit and eventually also declaring that Bitcoin and Ether, the crypto powering the Ethereum blockchain, weren't securities. Now this chairman, Emeritus Giancarlo, who was deemed crypto dad, following an impassioned speech he gave to Congress where he credited Bitcoin for finally getting his kids interested in finance, it is at it again, having co-written a detailed argument published this morning in the International Financial Law Review for why XRP, the crypto formerly known as Ripples, was not a security. The only problem is he's no longer a regulator. In fact, his employer is on the payroll of Ripple, the largest single owner of XRP, whose co-founders actually created the crypto. Now, having said that though, because again, you gotta know both sides of this. Does it have that much influence? No. Is it huge that he said this? Yes. Oh, yes. Again, you maybe you don't know, but he had a ton of influence in getting Bitcoin and Ethereum registered as non-securities. Again, he does not have that influence anymore, possibly, but still to see his thought process here and him knowing it, well, maybe aid and help in understanding what the EC or the SEC is going to be rolling out eventually as well. The bombshell paper titled Cryptocurrencies and U.S. Securities Laws Beyond Bitcoin and Ether, co-authored by commodities lawyer Conrad Balka of the New York law firm Vilke Farr and Gallagher LLP, methodically reviews the criteria of the Howey test established by the SEC in 1946 to determine whether something is a security, and point by point argues that XRP does not qualify. Rather, the paper argues, like its name would indicate, crypto is a currency of perhaps more interest to the Federal Reserve and central banks than the securities regulators. What's at stake here to the crypto world cannot be overestimated. XRP is now the 4th largest crypto with a market cap of 5.9 billion. Again, wait, what? I was looking at that. I was like, what's going on here? But they're saying here, by market cap with 5.9 billion worth of assets in circulation, according to crypto data site Masari, while Ripple was valued at 10 billion according to most recent round. I don't know where they got this from. What's going on here? How did he get to that number? Maybe I'm missing something? How did you get to 5.9 billion? Okay, that's pretty strange. Of assets in circulation. But maybe Masari said something crazy, I don't know. Well, Ripple was valued at $10 billion according to its most recent round of funding. The company continues to fund itself in part by selling its deep war chest of 55.6 billion XRP, coincidentally valued at the same amount as the company itself, about $10 billion. Well, it's actually a little bit more, so I don't get that. Not only could an eventual decision by the SEC to classify or not classify XRP as a security impact the untold individual owners of the crypto, but other clients using Ripple services that they don't rely on that, or Not only could it affect all of us that are holding XRP, but also other clients using Ripple services that don't rely on the crypto, including American Express, Santander, and SBI Holdings, could stand to be impacted positively or negatively depending on the decision. After all, if XRP were to be rescinded, it would be a huge cost to their software provider. And if Giancarlo is right though, Ripple could end up being one of the most valuable startups in fintech. And ultimately, under a fair application of the Howey test and the SEC's presently expanded analysis, XRP should not be regulated as a security, but instead considered a currency or a medium of exchange, Giancarlo and Balco argued in the paper. To quote, the increased adoption of XRP as a medium of exchange and a form of payment in the recent years, both by consumers and the business-to-business setting, further underscores the utility of XRP as a bona fide fiat substitute. And I get that, and I really support that view and idea as well here. To me, it's just plain Jane, pretty simple, in the easiest sight to see that XRP is not a security. And for him to just say it out loud here, come up with a paper and try to convince some other regulators here, yeah, that does me really well. And also one thing to note here is that it's kind of a foolproof thing or a huge scandal type of scenario that I don't know if they want that. For example, if they were to say right today that XRP is a security, so many companies would hurt from that, although they partnered up with. But if they were to do it in a couple years, when XRP and Ripple have taken over, maybe, possibly already, wow, would that affect? That would have such a huge effect that it might be, a global scandal, possibly, affecting everybody and really hitting some major moves and maybe some other major shifts in how economy is going to be working and how financial institutions are going to be working. Because we know that what Ripple is trying to do here is really change the game and trying to get involved with everything. And the longer the SEC waits here with declaring something, the heavier of an impact is going to be if they do something crazy like say it is a security. That would have such an impact, and I don't know if they can recover, and I don't know what would happen to the whole remittance payments as a whole. Giancarlo was nominated to be a commissioner of the CFTC by then President Barack Obama in 2013. In 2015, he helped lead the thinking behind the CFTC's decision that Bitcoin and Ether crypto were commodities, paving the way for the SEC's related comments that neither Bitcoin nor Ethereum are securities. Then, at the height of the 2017 crypto bubble, President Trump nominated him to be chairman of the CFTC, where he oversaw the creation of a number of Bitcoin future projects, including that CME group and the short-lived effort at CBOE. While many blame the creation of Bitcoin futures for popping the 2017 price bubble, which almost hit 20K before the halving today, others have seen the works as a fundamental process of maturity, helping pave the way for more sophisticated crypto-enabled financial offerings, basically stating again here once more how important and how much of an influence he has been on the whole crypto realm, and again, what kind of influence his opinion on XRP right now could also have on all and everything, really. Giancarlo's last day in office at the CFTC was in 2019, again last year, and thus he does not have the chairman influence that he used to have, or the, I don't know exactly what word it was, influence that he had in the Obama time. But still, he's a pretty big guy if you ask me. For a former chairman to say something like that, that's pretty damn big. But help the way to process. Giancarlo's last day in office at the CFTC was 2019, after which he promptly got involved helping envision in the future of assets issued on blockchain. In November, he joined as an advisor to American Financial Exchange, using Ethereum to create a LIBOR alternative. The following January, he co-founded the Digital Dollar Project, leading the push to use blockchain in the Federal Reserve, and now it would seem he's hoping to influence the classification of XRP as he did for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but from the other side of regulation. Importantly, however, a footnote in the report discloses that not only is Giancarlo and Balcus's firm Willy Fart and Gallagher LLP counseled Ripple Labs, but they relied on certain factual information provided by Ripple in the preparation of this article. Now, while it's impossible to parse what information came from the co-authors and what came from Ripple, the resulting legal argument is fascinating, even if it does leave room for doubt. So, one thing we must state clear here to everybody is that Ripple did help them out with this article, and Ripple did provide information. And thus, there is room for doubt. There is room for discussion stating that Ripple is doing this all themselves, as it could be that Ripple wrote it all, sent to them for them to publish. It is possible. It is also possible they maybe got paid in some other way, to do such a thing. It is, all right? I'm not gonna stray away from that because I just don't know. The Howey test Giancarlo uses to bolster his argument is a three-pronged definition used by the SEC, none of which he says apply to XRP. Three? Since when is it three? The first prong is that an investment contract should be implied or explicitly stated between the issuer of the asset, in this case XRP, and the owner, in which money exchanges hands. The mere fact that an individual holds XRP does not create any relationship, rights, or privileges with respect to Ripple any more than owning Ether would create a contract with Ethereum Foundation, the organization that oversees the Ethereum architecture, he writes. So basically, again, if you have anything to do with XRP, you don't necessarily have anything to do with Ripple. And as one of the guys said earlier, even if XRP were to fade away or Ripple were to fade away out of those parties, the other one will survive, which is not really the way it goes with securities. Buying XRP does not give you any authority over Ripple either, and thus pretty open and pretty plain Jane to see as well. This does, however, overlook the fact that OpenCoin, credited on Ripple's own site in 2013 for creating XRP, then tellingly described as Ripple's, was run by many of the same people that founded Ripple. And again, that's some stuff we know. But I guess you guys get the whole idea here, and the way that it's still going on. People are still babbling on about it. People will still babble on about it. People will still be asking questions. People will still be trying to get their money out of these lawsuits. People will never agree with the majority by saying, hey, it's not a security. And I can understand a couple of those points as well. Now, a little bit later here, they discuss again about how much Ripple has access to the XRP, how much they have in escrow, what that all would mean. But you can just read the Howey test on your own on the internet and kind of understand already for yourself how it does not apply to Ripple. But to kind of sum up here, the second prong of the Howey test stipulates that there can be no common enterprise between shareholders or a shareholder at the company. Again, while refuting both relationships, Giancarlo curiously goes on to write that, given the juxtaposition between XRP's intended use as a liquidity tool, its more general use to transfer value, and its potential as a speculative asset, XRP holders who utilize the coins for different purposes have divergent interests with respect to XRP. Get a little bit more on that, but in a related issue, the third prong of the Howey test stipulates that no reasonable expectation of profit should be derived from the efforts of Ripple, according to the paper. Supporting this position, Giancarlo writes, though Ripple maintains a sizable stake of the XRP supply and certainly has a pecuniary interest in the value of its holdings, it is not enough to suggest that a mutual interest in the value of an asset gives rise to an expectation of profits as contemplated by Howey. Again, this strains credulity, whatever. So my thought on that last one, the third one here is, Ripple, we can all understand, would have a benefit if the XRP price were to go up, because they have a freaking ton of it, right? Pretty damn obvious. However, never do they tell us to expect profits or to, that they'll get the XRP price up or that we should expect that. For example, the CTO has explained it would be better for the company that's running right now if the price were higher. But again, that's not necessarily saying that the price is going to go up or that we should expect that or to give some expectation of future prices or anything like that. They don't. At least I've never seen them do it. And I can get very kind of doubtful in this one with exactly where we should draw the line. Because exactly when does somebody give expectation of profits? If they tell you that they think it is going to go up, or if they tell you it's going to go up, or if they say we would hope for it to go up, or if they say, maybe price is going to go up in the future. Are they then already giving you an expectation, or are they giving you some idea? And are they saying, when they are saying, yeah, it would be positive for us if the price went up, are they then saying it's gonna, when exactly does this one satisfy? Which is a pretty difficult one to judge. And again, I don't have the right answers for it. But I don't need to read the last of this all because you guys get the idea of what it was all about, and we already spent 15 minutes of the video here. But this stuff is pretty damn bullish, and I'm really happy to see that coming along. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about all the stuff that I have open here later today in the video as well. But Ripple strikingly makes 2020's CNBC list of Disruptor 50 companies. Recently, CNBC, an American news media corporation, compiled a list of 50 companies that made an impactful change in 2020. And while many tech startups and unicorns made their way to the top lines, Ripple was the only digital currency innovator who landed 28th in the ranking of the list. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about this in another video that's coming up later today. So make sure you stay tuned, press the like button, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Crypto Bull just posted on Twitter, out of over 4,000 cryptocurrencies, XRP is the only one listed as disrupting the system. And again, this is a little bit about what we just saw here on the CNBC list, and we'll talk about this more later today in oh, I have to block the ads again. We will talk a little bit more about this in my videos that are going to be coming out later today, so make sure you stay tuned because this stuff is pretty damn huge and pretty damn crazy. Oh, why is there ads everywhere? The sender of $5 million Ethereum transaction fees has revealed itself. A lot of people were talking about this right now. It got pretty damn popular and everybody was hyping it up over on Twitter. And I thought a couple of you guys might be interested in knowing a little bit more. Here's who paid $5.2 million in Ethereum fees last week. So that's very strange, right? Why would that happen? What's going on? Well, researchers at PackShield have identified who was responsible for the two outrageous Ethereum fees, and it might be a Ponzi scheme. Last week, 2 transactions were sent on the Ethereum blockchain, paying a total of $5.2 million for fees in total. PackShield has discovered which exchange was responsible for the transactions, and it claims that the exchange was being blackmailed. Researchers at blockchain analytics firm have found out who owns the Ethereum address that for some reason paid $5 million in fees to send just 2 transactions last week. They have identified the owner as a small peer-to-peer crypto exchange in Korea called Good Cycle and suggest that it could be operating a Ponzi scheme. PackShield here said on Twitter, "Update, we have identified the victim, a small P2P exchange in Korea called Good Cycle, which appears to be a Ponzi scheme project. Our investigation found that their security is really lacking, e.g. using HTTP instead of HTTPS, which could easily be hacked." That's what they said over on Twitter. PackShield's vice president of research, Chao Chi-Wu, added that they sent a transaction of 0.5 Ethereum to the exchange, which swiftly got picked up and sent to the address that made the 2 huge transaction fees. This, they say, demonstrates that the address belongs to the exchange. And normally, the Ethereum fees are around 17 cents. Here, they spent $2.6 million, though, to just send $100, which is pretty damn weird. Pretty damn freaking weird, if you ask me. And Ethereum co-founder Vitalik said on Twitter, "So the $1 million transaction fees may actually be blackmail. The theory, hackers capture particular access to exchange key. They can't withdraw, but they can send no-effect transactions with any gas price. So they threaten to burn all the funds via transaction fees unless compensated." So basically, the scam, how it will work is either you pay me or I burn up all your money. Because they can't spend it, they can't do anything with it really. But they can burn it all up in gas, which is, again, the fee on Ethereum. Pretty crazy and pretty strange if you think about it, and also kind of frightening to know that might be going on. However, we don't know. It could also just be a big-ass scam over in China or whatever. I thought they said something about China. Oh, no, it was Korea. That's going on here to scam some people out of their money. I don't know about that. I don't know. A Bitcoin breakout could carry Bitcoin to a crucial resistance level. The Bitcoin price is possibly trading inside a descending wedge. The price has found support above the 50-day MA and the daily RSI has bounced at 50, and Bitcoin is trading inside a short-term symmetrical triangle right now as we speak. And also, Bitcoin market update. Bitcoin USD gets ready for a violent breakthrough to 10,000. Bitcoin USD is trapped inside a triangle pattern. The upside breakthrough will take the price towards 10K. And I'm really waiting here, guys, for whether or not we can breach past 10K or if we're just going to bounce back and really get down and dirty a little bit lower. I'm really wondering what's going to be happening, but I don't know. And I'm waiting here eagerly, but still, we don't get the answers. And sometimes that is very annoying. But guys, thank you all for watching. Let me know if you think Bitcoin is going to cross 10K very, very soon, or if you don't. And make sure you comment down below, again, what I asked in the beginning, if you're holding any crypto and where you're watching from. And also, guys, make sure you press the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed it, learned something new, or just want to help me out. Because it puts a smile on my face, makes me happy. Thank you all for watching. See you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody, and have a very, very nice day.